Because it was raining, Eun-ho invited Ji-eun to take shelter in a convenience store while buying some drinks. When Eun-ho was going to pay for the drink, Ji-eun saw a boy eating noodles. Ji-eun saw him and Eun-ho saw Ji-eun, who looked like she wanted to eat noodles and immediately rushed to get the noodles. She added some toppings until the other visitors wanted it too. Because it was very appetizing, Ji-eun thought Eun-ho had chosen the wrong job because he was too serious about preparing the food, even too perfect. He also prepared a hair tie for his boss, and the two of them enjoyed the noodles in the convenience store, accompanied by drizzle. Eun-ho gave Ji-eun a schedule, and one of them was a report on the formation of a recruitment academy with the name of CEO Lee Young-hoon. He was the CEO who passed away, where Ji-eun used to work, and the chairman of the recruitment association was Kim Hyene. And Ji-eun wanted to be a part of it and take part in the photo shoot, which would also include an interview and a special article about 7 female CEOs. Ji-eun's photo shoot wasn't finished yet, but Hyene had already arrived even though the schedule was still a long way off. It turned out that she came early on purpose, because she wanted to see Ji-eun's photo shoot, who will also represent her industry. In a special article about female CEOs, they are both from the same industry. Ji-eun just wanted to participate in establishing the academy, and she thought Hyene was still riding on CEO Lee's glory, because she used CEO Lee Young-hoon's name. But Hyene still assumed that Ji-eun was the cause of his death. Ji-eun just smiled. Actually, she knew what really happened and she was not the cause of his death, so stop dirtying CEO Lee's name. When she was about to leave, Hyene asked Ji-eun's schedule this weekend, because there would be a dinner with CEO Lee's family. And she invited Ji-eun to join and be relaxed, because Ji-eun's attitude showed that she killed CEO Lee. Ji-eun just ignored her and left the place. Seeing his boss, who seemed to have a lot on her mind, Eun-ho offered to eat tteokbokki, but Ji-eun didn't want to, because Eun-ho couldn't eat it. Then Eun-ho took sports shoes for Ji-eun and invited her to walk around. Ji-eun wondered why Eun-ho suggested walking, even though they hadn't even talked for almost 30 minutes. She doesn't know if Eun-ho was caring or not, but why didn't he ask anything? There must be a lot of questions. Eun-ho just didn't want to be nosy, because being asked could be painful. He would only believe what he saw. Then there was a ball rolling towards them and Eun-ho offered to play basketball. Without hesitation, Ji-eun took the ball and played basketball with the boys. Unconsciously, Ji-eun laughed and was happy. Eun-ho succeeded again in making Ji-eun forget what had just happened to her. While taking a break, Ji-eun felt that she had played with all her might, but Eun-ho didn't even give in to her. Eun-ho thought it was because sports were meant to be played fairly. Besides, Ji-eun forbade him from being lenient. Then Ji-eun asked if this was a match, an international match or the Olympics, and that made Eun-ho think that Ji-eun really likes to win, and if so, Eun-ho will always let his boss win, because Eun-ho really likes it when Ji-eun is happy and smiles. Mai waited for Eun-ho because she was worried about Ji-eun, who had previously met Hyene. Ji-eun has a long history with her, and that's something Eun-ho should know as her secretary. At Korea Way, Hyene was Ji-eun's mentor before the incident of CEO Lee committing suicide. Ji-eun respected her very much, but Korea Way was deceived by a fake company. Thinking it was a promising startup, Korea Way formed a group of founding members. It turned out that their goal was investment fraud, and Korea Way didn't know. Then Ji-eun was informed that someone from Korea Way was involved in the fraud. She asked for an investigation, but CEO Lee Young-hoon left a will and committed suicide. He took all the blame because he didn't want things to get worse. At that time, they needed a common enemy and the perfect one to divert public attention, namely the traitor who caused the CEO's death due to reporting violations. After the situation calmed down, Hyene took over as CEO at Korea Way, and to cover it up, Ji-eun was called self-sufficient and Ji-eun was kicked out of the company. Ji-eun suffered a lot to get here. she couldn't rely on anyone, and could only be strong. That's how she became the invincible Ji-eun they know now. Kyung-wha came to Mr. Kim angrily, because she had previously recommended Mr. Park to change jobs. Kyung-wha had worked hard for him as her candidate, but Mr. Kim suddenly took Mr. Park to move to another workplace. Previously, Kyung-wha contacted him for a month about World Corporation. Yesterday he decided to apply to World Corporation until Mr. Kim called him and made Mr. Park hesitate to apply to World Corporation. Mr. Kim actually didn't know that Kyung-wha chose Mr. Park as a candidate because no one told him. But Kyung-wha was already disappointed and they became tense until Ji-eun came to the office and found them arguing in the morning. They went into the room and Ji-eun asked what happened. But they explained their own versions and made Ji-eun angry because they didn't think about the candidate. Ji-eun had explained not to involve their feelings and they had to make an analysis with their teammates. They then left Ji-eun's room, with still hostile to each other, because the problem had not been resolved. Eun-ho approached Mr. Kim on the top of the building. It wasn't that Mr. Kim didn't want to give up, but Kyung-wha didn't follow the protocol. If Kyung-wha reported it to him, Mr. Kim wouldn't call Mr. Park. Only Mr. Kim didn't know about it and they all fought him because they thought that only Kyung-wha worked hard. As if Mr. Kim didn't work hard, he knew Kyung-wha worked hard and also cared about her. But this has happened and this misunderstanding makes Mr. Kim feels insulted. Then he gives the document to Eun-ho, so that Kyung-wha will handle it, because Mr. Park will be better at World Corporation. Eun-ho feels relieved that finally Mr. Kim is mature and willing to give in to Kyung-wha. Not only Mr. Kim, Eun-ho also pays attention to Kyung-wha by bringing her coffee. Kyung-wha feels that she has done something wrong to Mr. Kim. And Eun-ho explains that Mr. Kim may not seem to care, but he actually cares a lot about Kyung-wha. Eun-ho tells her not to worry and not to be discouraged. He reminds Kyung-wha not to be late for meals. Eun-ho gives the minutes of the meeting to Ji-eun and he asks if Team 1 is okay, because Kyung-wha and Mr. Kim still seem awkward. But Ji-eun feels that it is normal, because she is always awkward with all her employees. She is also awkward with Eun-ho. Does Eun-ho think Ji-eun considers him a friend? Eun-ho felt it was a shame and he left Ji-eun's room. After lunch break with Su-hyeon, Eun-ho told her about his boss. Sometimes his boss needs more attention from Bio. Su-hyeon felt that Eun-ho must be used to it now, because at first Eun-ho seemed chaotic. Suddenly Eun-ho saw Ji-eun, who had finished the meeting, and he rushed to approach Ji-eun and told Su-hyeon to leave. Su-hyeon just found out that Eun-ho's boss was actually a woman.
여자였구나, 대표님.
Su-hyeon and her mother went to Su-hyeon's brother and sister-in-law's funeral. It turned out that the little boy at her house was her nephew and Su-hyeon and her mother took care of him after her brother and sister-in-law passed away. Su-hyeon steadfastly took care of her nephew and considered him as her own son and her mother could only cry. Eun-ho sent Seo-jun's video to Su-hyeon and her mother saw it too. Her mother asked if Su-hyeon didn't regret it, and Su-hyeon answered no, because he is her son. Her mother felt sorry. She should have stopped Su-hyeon from taking care of Seo-jun, because they weren't even married. Su-hyeon felt that there was no need to bring up the past. But her mother felt that her daughter's happiness was more important than her grandson's happiness. Su-hyeon felt happy because she had a charming son.
엄마 손주지?
Jong-hoon's father invited Ji-eun to his house for dinner, and Jong-hoon decided to leave and let Ji-eun and his father chat. It turned out that Jong-hoon's father gave Ji-eun a scholarship when she was in college and now he is investing so that the company that Ji-eun manages can run. He told Ji-eun to take care of Jong-hoon and turn him into an adult. Suddenly, he asked how much longer he should keep inviting Ji-eun to come to his house. Is Jong-hoon not good enough for Ji-eun? Now Jong-hoon is an adult, so Ji-eun has to live with Jong-hoon. Hearing that, Ji-eun just smiled without answering it. Jong-hoon was curious about what Ji-eun talked about with his father. Jong-hoon told Ji-eun not to push herself because he was worried about Ji-eun. Ji-eun felt that Jong-hoon was an adult, even though the first time she saw Jong-hoon was at a rally when he was still in high school. Jong-hoon thought it would be a problem if Ji-eun still thought of him as a kid. Suddenly, he brought his face closer and told Ji-eun to look at him up close. He thought he looked more handsome up close. But Ji-eun told him not to do that again. They held a welcoming party for Eun-ho, but Ji-eun didn't attend the party. She was in the office and worked alone. She felt why the boss did all the work. Then Eun-ho sent a message to her and asked, "Is Ji-eun still working?" He gave the address of the party, in case Ji-eun changed her mind and wanted to join them. And Eun-ho would wait for Ji-eun at the party. While on the phone, Eun-ho saw Jong-hoon leaving the party. It turns out he was on the phone with Su-hyeon and left his daughter there, because he came home late. Su-hyeon didn't mind, because she thought Eun-ho was close enough, and Eun-ho thanked Su-hyeon. At that time Su-hyeon smiled to herself and her son saw her blushing cheeks and thought that his mother was hot. It seems Su-hyeon likes Eun-ho because her cheeks blushed after being called by him. Ji-eun finally followed Eun-ho's welcoming party and her staff were happy to see her join. It turns out, Jong-hoon returned to the office with food for Ji-eun. But Ji-eun was no longer in the office because she followed Eun-ho to the party. They continued the party at a karaoke place while enjoying drinks. Eun-ho's gaze was only on Ji-eun. When Ji-eun was drinking or singing, he didn't blink at her. Until the party was over, he kept looking after Ji-eun who was drunk. He told Ji-eun to sit down and he would take her home. But when Eun-ho was looking for a replacement driver, Ji-eun walked alone and made Eun-ho confused looking for her. Eun-ho asked Mai about Ji-eun's whereabouts and she answered that Ji-eun usually goes to the office when she's drunk. Eun-ho arrived at the office and looked for Ji-eun. It turned out that Ji-eun was sleeping in her room. Eun-ho called her name, but she was still asleep. To keep her from getting cold, Eun-ho closed the window and gave her boss a blanket. Until Ji-eun woke up and saw Eun-ho sitting beside her who was sleeping. It seemed like Eun-ho was guarding her until he fell asleep by sitting down and Ji-eun was looking at him. She touched Eun-ho's eyes, nose, and lips and made Eun-ho wake up. Their faces were very close and at that time Ji-eun said Eun-ho was handsome. Eun-ho was silent and the two of them looked like they were going to kiss.